More like she done, hey, more like she took over for real.
Yeah. We live.
All right, good Saturday morning to you, everybody. We're back again here on Sports Chat. As you can see, the background today says Sports Chat. Let me get out the way real quick. There it is. There it is. We're back with you. And guess what? We got the fellas with us today. We got John, we got Ron. What's going on, fellas?
What up?
Everybody doing good this week? This wonderful Saturday. What's the weather like down in the ATL, Ron?
It's about 55, 56. The sun's out. Nice day.
Nice day. John, what about you? Snowing yet?
Not yet. Sunny and 40 right now. High of 49 today. And then by the big game next Saturday, yeah, we'll be around in the upper 30s.
You gonna be able to sleep this week?
I doubt it. For a lot of different reasons, but I doubt it.
All right. Well, it's supposed to be sunny and 57 in Albany today. What?
That's beautiful. For
Man,
mid-November, that's
right.
Great.
Really nice, really nice. Yeah, correction. It's 64 degrees right now. I haven't been outside yet, so yeah
64, John. We don't like him anyway, right? You know what I'm saying?
I can't stand him.
I spent 42 years of my life in upstate New York winters. I've had plenty.
I ain't mad at you.
All right, well, fellas, a lot's been going on in the world of sports. Very interesting. I want to give a shout out to Shohei Ohtani for winning his second MVP, Major League Baseball, American League MVP. And then Ronald Acuña down in the ATL, National League MVP. Well deserving on both sides. Can't argue with them two at all. My boy Garrett Cole gets the Cy Young. You know, it's kind of so what to me. I mean, yeah, you won Cy Young, but we didn't make the playoffs. So I guess we take what we can get, you know. But he pitched very well. Really, the only Yankee that stepped up this year was Garrett Cole. I mean, obvious Judge had good numbers for the amount of games he missed, but you know, what can you do? So shout out to all those guys that won those awards. But we still gotta get you on the hot seat, Ron. We still got him on the hot seat when it comes to his number two now, right? Or three.
Yeah. Well, number
college
two
football playoff.
Number 2 in the AP, number 3 in the
college football playoff.
The playoff poll.
But the bottom line is they're still there. Number 3. Can't argue with that when it comes to the football playoffs. But the word on the street is that they found out that a booster was helping out with this fella going to do the scouting. What's your word? Come on, talk to us, Mr. Michigan man.
Well, listen, man. This is the type of situation where you have to separate the fan in you from the objective analyst. And as difficult as it is to do sometimes, I mean, it's not always easy to pull the fan out of you and just view it as a casual observer. And it doesn't look good, man. I am not convinced at all that Jim Harbaugh was totally oblivious to what was going on with this entire operation. And I think that they went ahead and accepted the Big Ten portion of the punishment as a way of trying to placate the oncoming NCAA investigation. I think a lot of people around here were confused to think that because the Big Ten took this step that somehow ended the NCAA investigation, which it didn't at all. And I hate to say it, I think they'll have their say, and they'll have a fairly harsh punishment coming towards Michigan. But I will say this: if they can somehow prove that Harbaugh, because he came out and categorically denied having any type of knowledge of this ongoing operation. If they can prove definitively that he knew about it, now it probably won't affect him, because I imagine that he's going to do a Pete Carroll and go running off to the NFL like Pete Carroll did as soon as the investigation got hot at USC. So I see him doing that. I see him going, but man, he's going to leave behind an absolute mess. Especially if they can find out that he actually knew about this ongoing operation, the punishment will be order of magnitude worse than it will be if they can't prove that he didn't know. So, but I mean, I feel bad for the players, because all of their hard work is about to be discredited by this guy who, for whatever reason, has some sort of delusion of grandeur in his head and thought that he was somehow going to rise in the ranks and run the entire Michigan operation, which was foolish. And now it's just, the price is yet to be paid. I think, the suspension was one thing, and that satisfied the Big Ten portion of it, but the NCAA is going to have their say.
I feel bad.
All right, well, very well put, Mr. Professional Analyst. Hey, let me stop for a second, John. I got past me, but we gotta wish Ron a happy birthday today. It's his birthday.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, forgive me, I forgot,
bro.
Yes, happy birthday to you, Ron. Dwayne is also Dwayne's birthday. My two brothers, they're 3 years apart on the same day, right?
That is wild.
What a birthday present for Dwayne. You know what I mean?
I've always felt a sense of resentment from D.
He went from being the baby to having a baby brother on his birthday. Isn't that something?
Wow.
Talk about a slap in the face right here.
So you
got a little brother, boy.
You move over. You know what I mean?
I am, yes. I would be the youngest.
We got that in common then. Okay.
Yeah, there are some benefits to that.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
Well, John, I will say Ron helped us get pizzas on many a Friday and Thursday nights.
There you go.
Right.
So happy birthday, dude.
You know that baby always has ways of moving mom and dad as the other ones couldn't, So we made good use of it. Let me tell you.
Just this morning, I saw an Instagram post about the benefits of being a baby and being the youngest in the family. So I'll send it to you all after the show.
Okay. All right. I need it.
And Sports Chat audience, let me let you know that these two guys are two of my favorite people on earth. Ron, John remind me of Ronald so much. That's why I even close to him, because he's always a smart intellectual. Ron, when I met him, it was at Purnell's wedding weekend in Detroit.
You remember that?
We were at the Ellis's house for dinner. And I mean, this guy, he was on the stairs,
it's crazy how you
was having a conversation.
So
I was like, yo, who is this dude? He was just all philosophical. I was like, wait a second.
When did Purnell get married? 89, 90?
90 was it?
Was it 91?
Might have been 90.
90. Okay.
Yeah, might have been 9. I think it was 90.
17, 18
yeah,
years old?
You was like 17, 18.
Wow.
I remember the first time I met John. I can't even remember, but I just remember John being very funny, personable guy. It was just it was kind of an immediate fit with the rest of the crew.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah, just fit. It was like he was with us all the time.
I'm an unofficial Thomas. I'm an unofficial Thomas.
Yeah, and so and then even over the course of the years, talking sports and everything, you always made sense, right?
That's right.
I can count on John to make sense out of out of craziness, and
Yeah.
so
And it's not always hard. It's not always easy to be objective, especially in this situation. This year, this was our year, man. I just look at 3/4 of who was on the team last year is back this year. Almost our entire defense came back. We had to replace a few on the offensive line, but we did. We brought our running backs back. We had our veteran quarterback. It seemed like all of our major competitors for the title had questions. Georgia was replacing Stetson Bennett. Ohio State was replacing C.J. Stroud. Alabama replacing Bryce Young. You know what I'm saying? So it felt like, man, the stars are aligned for us to really make a run, and then this happens, and it's just like, Jesus Christ.
That's why I feel so bad, man, about what's happening at Michigan. To be honest, every time the stories pop up or I see the articles, I don't even read them because it's like this sense of disappointment. Just because, for the reasons you mentioned, John, they have worked their way to, finally overcoming the Ohio State hump over the last 2 years. They climbed and everybody talked about Harbaugh. He took a lot of crap in the national media about just not being able to get Michigan there. They climbed and scratched all the way to where they are now in prominence. And then they have this happen and just put a dark mark right on all the work. Plus, with all the other stuff happening in Michigan with the revitalization of Detroit, the Lions coming back.
Bro,
it's just resurrection story that they're going through. And then to have it get tainted by, a scandal, it's just disappointing. So I feel your pain.
Well, it's amazing. It's amazing the haterade that's out there amongst people. Oh, yeah. And like Ron was saying, and it actually got by me that Monty Williams is the coach of the Pistons now. Yep. So by next year, man,
losers of 10 straight.
Yeah, but I think he'll get them right. They'll be respectable. They got a lot of young talent.
They're shooting for that number 1 pick again.
Well, I tell you what though, it pays to stick with your young talent. Look at OKC.
Yeah, I get it.
Stick with your young talent.
One thing that disappoints me
makes a difference.
Yeah, the one thing that disappoints me the most about sports today when it comes to young talent, whether it's football with young quarterbacks or basketball players who come in, you look at a guy like take a Cam Reddish, for example, on the Lakers. In the Detroit, the Pistons have a lot of young players. Like they just had Cade Cunningham, they drafted number 1 a couple of years ago. These guys' talent doesn't disappear. The problem is, they go to college for 1 year. Where in the past, years ago, it used to be 4 years of development in college, mature. You grow physically, you grow mentally, you learn how to deal with things. I asked my son the other day. My daughter Olivia is a sophomore/junior in college. She just turned 19, right? And I said to Ronnie, Ronnie, think about it. That Wembanyama kid is the same age as your little sister, Olivia, right?
Right.
The same age as Olivia. And I'm like, and he's playing in a league dunking on people. And I said to Ronnie, I said, let me ask you a question. I said, we go back 3 years and you played college baseball. I said, when you was 19 years old, do you really believe you could have stepped on the Major League Baseball field and faced Garrett Cole when you was 19? The answer is no. Right. So you got to think about the levels that these kids are playing at. You got to give them a chance to grow and develop. There are always the exceptions, the Kobe's, the Durant's, the LeBron Jameses. But those people are rare gems, that can play at that level at that age. If you take a guy out of high school right now, and if he could go pro, you got to say, okay, guess what, man? You're guarding Steph tomorrow. Like, come on. I saw a thing with Bradley Beal recently. He was talking to some AAU kids at a camp over the summer. Yeah. And he told them, bro, he goes, let me just tell y'all something right now. Not one of y'all in this room could guard me. Right. Right. He just told them flat out. And these are some of the best high school players in the country. He's like, listen, can't none of y'all guard me. So I'm just letting you know. And so you got to think about the levels that you're talking about, right? There's levels to it. And the very rare exceptions, they can play at that level. But the talking heads of sports put so much pressure on these young kids. This kid, Bryce Young, down here at Carolina playing quarterback for the Panthers. Just give him time. CJ Stroud's in a different system, different coach, different organization, different players. So yeah, he might shine. I told Ronnie, I said, don't ever give up on a young quarterback. And I said, here's why. Troy Aikman came in the NFL back in '89 when he came in. The Cowboys went 1-15.
1-15.
1-15. I said the guy was getting killed. He was getting murdered back there. And then 3 years later, they're in the Super Bowl winning the whole thing. Right? So I said you got to give these guys time. Because they could have said, well, Troy Aikman is just a bust. It had nothing to do with him.
Well, and I'm telling you right now, if the environment was then as it is now with all the social media and all the attention on the Cowboys too,
they would have called them that.
Could you imagine 1-15 on the Cowboys?
Yes.
But they stuck with them, right? And you see the results. 3-time Super Bowl winner, Hall of Famer. They were debating the other day on, I think, First Take about Dallas all-time great quarterbacks, right? Mm-hmm, and because of the numbers, we're big with analytics, right? Right now, Prescott has better numbers than basically all the Dallas Cowboys quarterback ever. And my book is still Roger Staubach, because that's when I fell in love with the Cowboys. Staubach to me. Him and Aikman are two Hall of Famers. But Prescott has better number than all of them in their first 8 years of being the quarterback.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's crazy.
But they're throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right.
That's supposed
absolutely.
So.
That analogy, and I'll bring up what I explained to my son recently too, is I said, Ron, I understand that as great a scorer as Steph is, right? I said, if a guy like a Larry Bird or a Michael Jordan got to take 33s a game, they would have scored that many. They would have took them.
Exactly.
I told him, I said, Ron, one time I remember Michael Cooper hit 6 threes in a Laker game or something way back in the 80s. And I couldn't believe he took that many in the game. I was like, he took 6. Like, I thought that was like, that was a lot of shots to take at that time, to take 6 threes in the game. Nobody even took 6 threes.
Listen. Y'all remember that game again in the NBA Finals, 92?
Jordan, yes.
6 threes in the first half, and that was like, oh my God, we've never seen anything like this. I remember watching the very first game between LeBron and Kobe, Cleveland versus LA. The first 3-point shot in that game wasn't taken until right before halftime.
Wow.
And so that just tells you how much the game has changed. And so the quarterback position is the same way. A lot of teams don't even running backs are glorified pass blockers. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they don't utilize the running game. That's why Ezekiel Elliott is not what he's supposed to be. Because that dude was a horse at Ohio State. And he was a horse for his few years, but we're slowly getting away because we want television. Oh, the pass is sexy and these numbers and da 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 da. And
that's why we can't score. That's why we can't score in the red zone at the moment. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
No, because John, you're absolutely right. Because think about this. When we were growing up, football, there was always the sexy running back on everybody's team, right?
Dude,
you had the Dorsets,
you had
the Franco Harrises, Thurman Thomas. Everybody had a great running back. The Bears had
Campbell.
Yeah, Earl Campbell. Everybody had a great running back, and that was like the center of your team. That was the guy on the commercials. That was the jersey everybody wanted to wear. Everybody wanted to be Campbell. They wanted to be OJ. They wanted to be Dorset. You know what I'm saying?
Franco Harris, Rocky Blyer.
The running, Joe Morris,
Larry Zonka,
Freeman McNeil. The list is long. You wanted to be those guys, right? Now, it's like those dudes can't even get a contract anymore.
No.
Nope. So the game
and it's amazing what they do because the average length of career for running back is 3 years.
Yeah,
right.
And if you think about it, they maximize the use of that back too in that first 3 years, right? Derrick Henry, Ezekiel Elliott, right? First 3 years, they were off the chain, right? First 3 years. Ezekiel was just smart enough to take advantage of it to get the contract renewal. right?
But you got to be a Christian McCaffrey. You got to be exceptional.
Yep.
In order to warrant that second large contract as a running back, you got to be exceptional. Because it's a quarterback wide receiver league, man. That's
no doubt about it.
What it is.
No
that's where all the money is.
The one thing that
I just hope Bryce Young still has a bad game on tomorrow. He can do whatever he wants after tomorrow. He could go on and be great if he wants, but
I think Bryce
hold
is
up
be
to
just
next
fine.
week, Bryce.
I think he'll be just fine.
Speaking of Alabama, they've been playing good football, guys. What's your opinion?
They both qualified for the SEC championship game here in Atlanta. I don't know. I might try to finagle my way into the building at some point. I'm see if I can get myself in there.
Good luck with that.
Right. But Alabama has slowly just kind of flew under the radar, if you ask me, after they lost that game early, and they just been beating everybody. Georgia hasn't lost in a long time, and they're right for getting beat by Alabama in a game like that. Just because it's Alabama, you just never know. But they put themselves in position. There's nothing you can say about it. They're right there. The Bulldogs are playing a little better. Their quarterback play has improved. They're kind of getting their swagger back a little bit. They got Tennessee today. They don't want to get clipped. But the proof will be in the Alabama pudding here in Atlanta. You gotta win that game in the SEC championship to see. But I think Bama has put themselves right there, man. Milrose played better. They're gonna blow Chattanooga out today. Shout out to my man Cam Overton, the tight end from Marietta. And we'll see what happens when they meet in the SEC championship. That's it. The bottom line.
Do they have a game next week? Georgia and Alabama, or no?
No, they don't meet in the regular season.
I'm saying, but do they play anyone next Saturday?
I'll have to check. I'll check the schedule.
Well, next Saturday is rivalry week, so they should be playing Auburn.
I think you're right. You're right. Right, and Georgia probably playing Georgia Tech, probably.
Yeah, they play Georgia Tech.
And Alabama should play Auburn next week. And
Iron Bowl.
So and that's always interesting, regardless of record. That Auburn.
I don't see Auburn don't have a chance this year. They might as well skip that game and get right to the game that everybody wants to see.
You know what I miss on Thanksgiving Friday.
Colorado, Nebraska.
No, not Colorado. Used to be Texas and Texas A&M.
Okay.
Oh man, that should be a good game, regardless of. Both teams could be bad, but they used to be a good game.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody is playing better than Alabama right now. They had some early season quarterback issues, obviously, and they got that figured out. Milroe, maybe that was the benching that he needed to get his focus.
I think it was.
But
he took it very well, by the way.
He took it well. He took the demotion, did what he had to do to get back into the starting position. And now, they're rolling. So, I don't listen. Georgia has been great. They haven't lost a game in so many. But if I'm Alabama, if Texas and Alabama played that game again right now, they would. They wouldn't. Texas wouldn't come within 2 touchdowns of them. So
no, that's true statement.
Milrose situation is exactly going back to what we were talking about earlier. The kid's got talent. He just needed some time. This was really his first year playing, like this, and he just got to look, man. Everybody's not Superman. Kobe Bryant said it one time, right? You don't just come out the womb and you can leap a building with a single bound, bro. It takes time to develop. And a guy like Milroe playing, you got to think he's playing at Alabama of all places. The pressure, the fans, the media hype. It takes a little time to develop just to play the game.
Yeah.
And now he's got that under him.
This is why it was so important for the playoffs to be expanded. So normally a loss like that to Texas would be the death of your playoff. You know what I'm saying? That would like, oh well, we can, even though you improve to the level that they've improved to, now realistically their only shot of making the playoff is they got to beat Georgia in the SEC championship game.
That's it.
As opposed to if this was next year, they'd be in regardless of what happened.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and I'm you know, I kind of go both ways on that, because I did like the fact that college football of any sport in this country had the most important regular season of any. It's almost like you start off the season playing playoff.
Yeah, no, it's true though.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, just for one loss can do you in.
It can
Forget
do
about
you
two.
in. It can do you in. Think about Ohio State. They didn't lose. They lost that game to Michigan last year, and everybody thought it was. But they literally had to have a domino effect of losses.
Yeah.
Clemson had to lose against South Carolina. USC had to lose against Utah. Everything had to fall because you only had a 14 playoff. Everything that had to happen in order for them to sneak and backdoor their way. And it
worked.
And they were a missed field goal from going to the national championship.
Yeah.
And so it's a good thing that we've got, I think 12, I would have probably did 8. I think 12 is, but because I think you could have kept all of your major bowl games, and then you add 2 at-large bids, your 6 major conference winners, or 5. What is it? 5 Power 5?
Yeah, 5
conference winners.
Well, next year it's only going to be what, 3?
I mean, 2. You might as well
2 major conferences.
No,
I'm
3.
ready. To be honest, let's get to next season, because the season is winding down. It's gone so fast. I'm sad. I'm like, oh man, we got football in there.
Weren't we just watching the first week?
Yeah,
Colorado beating TCU, right?
You blink and it's November. That's
blink and it's over.
So I'm glad that playoff is expanding, because it'll give us more football. But man, it's just like you wait all winter, the rest of winter, all of spring, all of summer, just to get back to this, and boom, before you know it, it's over. So,
and John, just real quick, because we talking about it's over. Aaron Nolan and the boys from Langston Hughes High School lost in the state playoffs.
Aaron Nolan lost? Wow.
Yeah, okay. They got beat by Rome High School, so his high school career is over.
So he'll probably be an early enrollee at Ohio
Columbus.
State.
Yeah, Ohio State. Yeah, they got beat. 6A football, it's tough.
But we got our 5-star quarterback coming in, Jaden Davis. So let's game on.
Game on. Let's get to it.
Is he still going to come now to that Michigan cheating program?
I don't know. The other kid, the guy y'all got to watch out for, though, man, is my man Juju Lewis. He's going to be the next great quarterback out of the state of Georgia, man. Last night he saw on Carrollton. He's a sophomore. As a freshman, he led him to the 7A state championship. They lost, but he led him there, and he's on his way again. Last night, he was just putting up numbers. And the game was on YouTube. Just Google Carrollton versus Valdosta. They played a classic program in Valdosta last night, and the kid just put up numbers, man. So, yeah.
At what point can they start extending official offers? To junior or
supposed to be junior this summer.
Yeah,
they can start this summer.
Yeah, because he unofficially committed to USC last year as a freshman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's committed to USC, and the guy is amazing, fellas. I mean, I watched.
Yeah, but he's not gonna win with
Lincoln Riley there.
Lincoln Riley, until he decides. Now he'll put up great numbers. He'll put up offense.
Yeah, he'll put up numbers, but the defense.
Until they take some defense seriously out there, that was Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma. I don't know what USC thought they were getting with Lincoln Riley.
I told you, Lincoln Riley is the Mike D'Antoni of college football.
That is such a perfect description of of Lincoln Riley. All offense, all flash and dash, and can't stop their own shadow.
But you know, really, this year too, there's only 3 teams with any type of defense, and maybe 4. But when I think of defense, I'm thinking Michigan, Georgia, right, and Alabama defense is coming around. Ohio State, they still suspect to me on the defensive end.
Secondary,
because they're other than Michigan in the Big Ten, there's really nobody really to challenge them offensively.
Well, Penn State was supposed to offer that challenge.
Like I just stated, other than Michigan in the Big Ten, there was no one offensively to challenge it. Penn State offense was weak. When that game against Ohio State, I'm like, these guys, their offense is terrible.
Well, no, listen, he was, because I'm looking at him like, who? I don't know what rating service, like, who made this guy 5-star quarterback?
That's like, now you know I'm not a UM fan, right? But I wasn't even worried about last week when they played Penn State because they had nobody on offense that's a threat.
Yeah, I had no qualms about going into that, even without Harbaugh.
I told y'all. Go ahead. I told y'all early this year, John. I said it. Remember, we had the discussion about Penn State, and I told y'all.
Yeah.
This was the year that Franklin had to show and prove. I don't want to hear nothing about Penn State no more. Okay, nothing. Don't want to hear nothing about.
He's going to do exactly what he's done. Beat the nobody. Compile, and he's going to do just enough to keep his job. He's going to say, hey, we won 10 games. Yeah, but you lose consistently to the best teams that you face.
Yeah. But now, it's going to be even tougher for a Penn State because you're adding Oregon, you're adding USC, right? And so you're
Washington, UCLA.
Right. And so those guys
that's gonna be a gauntlet, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those guys are they're a step above the Penn States and the
I think Penn State's gonna get lost in the mix. But the crazy part about it is that, dude, if you believe these these player rating services, these people who rank these players, the guy, James Franklin, recruits his behind off. I mean, he gets the players. He recruits better than Michigan. Just in terms of...
They got all the kids right there in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Right and New Jersey. They got the Jersey boys right there from Bergen County and all of them, football powerhouses in Jersey. All the teams in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. He got all of that at his disposal, man. Virginia, Maryland, all of it.
Drew Aller had offers from Michigan and Ohio State, and he went to Penn State. So it's not about the player. He can recruit. He just can't. I don't know what it is. When they get to campus, they just
John. They have the entire Northeast at their disposal.
Yeah, they got it on lock. They got it on lock.
The Mid-Atlantic, he got the Maryland, the Maryland, Virginia guy. He got all of that right in his geographic.
He got it on lockdown, and he just didn't do anything with that offense. Was pathetic. That offense is absolutely pathetic.
It's terrible. Absolutely. I mean, okay. I know the quarterback and stuff is still young, but still, come on.
But it's the scheme. I don't even know if it's the scheme, man. It's like they don't throw the ball downfield.
They don't throw it downfield. They don't utilize. They don't recruit the best. I don't see them utilizing a tight end a lot. They run the ball. They got those 2 very good running backs, but I mean, you can't be a one-trick pony, and it's just like it's pretty soon offenses are going. He has 70. He was 10 of something, like 7 of 19 for 70 yards. That's pathetic. Yeah, that's pathetic. and then on the defensive side, they were supposed to be so great. Michigan threw 6 passes last week.
But,
6.
But here's the thing with that. I get that, but listen, I don't care how good your defense is. If your offense cannot sustain drives,
you're absolutely right.
Best defenses will begin to wear down. That's
and then all day.
especially against a team like Michigan,
yeah,
where they got that big offensive line.
They got that big beefy offensive
2 stallion running backs. It's a done deal.
And you constantly going 3 and out on offense. I don't care how well your defense plays. It's like they can't stay off the field.
They were just previewing Michigan on College Game Day. They said about 35 minutes till game time, John. About 35 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect us. We'll make quick work of Maryland. I just excuse me. I hate the fact that anything that we accomplish from this point on, even if we go on to win the Natty, it's tainted. It's tainted.
Take the Natty. If you get the Natty, take it.
I'm gonna take it. Now, trust.
Well, because I will say that. Okay, we understand all the parameters about cheating, but at the end of the day, you have to stop me, and I have to stop you.
Well,
even if I know what you're running, I still got to tackle you.
You got to stop it, absolutely. But I just think, and it ain't even necessarily because we know everybody steals signs. That's not something. I mean, you share film with teams. Of course, you steal signs. You get what their tendencies are. But that advanced in-person scouting you can think what you want about the rule, but it's the rule.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
You can think what you want about it.
Again, we're talking about the level and effort and time that they put in to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was an entire funded operation.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Tickets,
when you go to
plane ticket.
Yeah.
It
go to that extreme. But that's fine. We understand all that, but you still got to beat me on the field. Coach there or not.
Yeah. But I may not like the fact that it's 35 miles an hour in the city and I drive 40 and I get a ticket. I can complain all I want.
You can complain all you want about how foolish and how silly that law is. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Lobby to change it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't break it and then after the fact say, well, it's a stupid rule. Yeah, but it's the rule. And you did nothing to change it. So
I hate it for all the Michiganders and all there.
I'm heartbroken, man. I'm serious. I'm heartbroken.
Because John, I mean, they even, Michigan surpassed Georgia in the polls. Georgia ain't lost since Obama was president. Yet they somehow slid back, slid back to number 2. But I was like, all right, man, all right. Michigan's running it. They look like a stronger team. They got defense. They got quarterback play. They got it all. And then you have this ugly thing come up, man. So I definitely understand how
it is so heartbreaking because I think we came into this season with the fewest questions. I think we had, other teams had questions. Ohio State had questions at quarterback and offensive line. Obviously, Georgia, questions at quarterback. Alabama, questions at quarterback. We were the only team that had very few questions coming back. Now we lose. God, we're basically going to have a brand new team next year.
Yeah, next year. Y'all lose some of everybody.
We lose everybody this year. That's why it's so disappointing to see what this year has devolved into.
There's so many analogies. It's like y'all got a beautiful girl with bad breath.
Bro!
Or you got
not the bad.
Can't just be the complete package.
You got a Mercedes Benz with a scratch, whatever.
With a scratch, it just can't be the complete package. Jesus Christ! Oh, she's so fine, but boy, her breath is bad. That's That's Michigan right now.
Now. That's it.
And
man.
it's just like, it's so disappointing, man. And again, I feel bad for the kids that Blake Corum could be in the NFL right now. He came back
Right.
to try to
For this
win a
purpose.
he came back to try to win a national championship.
And that says a lot for guys that are NFL prospects.
Yeah, he was a second round pick.
Because you're taking a risk in doing that, man. But hey, I hear you, man. I hear you.
It's hard. I'm just heartbroken, man. I'm so
hang in there, brother. Hang in there. You still got the line.
Yeah, it's gonna work out for you. All things work together for the good of those who love Michigan.
Let me change gears a little bit. What do y'all think of this in-season tournament for the NBA? What's your take on it?
Explain to me the advancement.
I think it's really just that Adam Silver wants to try to evolve the game and just trying to get some things to kind of pique fan interest in the humdrum early parts of the season. And you got to think, man, the NBA really don't take off till it gets to be springtime and then into the playoffs, because right now you got college football, you got the NFL with a lot of focus going into playoff time, and the NBA kind of takes a back seat until all that stuff clears the air, right? So I think he's just trying to find ways to pique the interest, just to see how it might go, try it out, and then if it goes forward, then great. I just think he's trying to just get some different fan stuff to keep the fans around during the height of college football and pro football, because the NBA don't get a lot of hype until playoff time. Because really, who cares? Like, you could miss 5 NBA games and you don't even think nothing about it.
Oh, I don't.
Well, I guess too with the NFL and their extended 2 weeks now, right? Which actually is robbing the NBA of their Christmas come out.
Yeah.
Now, so I guess he had to do something to try to offset that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought that was wrong for the NFL to.
Yeah, I did too. That was terrible.
Now that's that below. NFL has Thanksgiving. The NBA is supposed to have Christmas. They were wrong. They were wrong for that.
It's all about the money.
Extend that out.
It's all about the Benjamins, man.
2 weeks, and so
an extra week. What is it?
Yeah, because there was nothing better than Christmas
basketball
and New Year's weekend, when you had all the bowl games, and then plus you had the NFL playoffs starting. Yep. Oh, that was great.
There's no respect anymore, man. You got to work.
No.
People got Black Friday starts on Wednesday.
Let's see who can get
Black Friday start on Wednesday.
Who's willing to buy? And the thing about the networks don't care either. They will do it.
All about the money, man.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I hate to be the Mr. Get Off My Lawn guy. But some stuff should just be worth preserving.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Some stuff. Me and you was talking about this last week. Like with the expansion, with the conference realignment and expansion of the playoff. Those of us that grew up in the Midwest and really took that Michigan out, both Michigan State and Michigan Ohio State, to heart. When you won either one of those games, you had 364 days of bragging rights.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I don't know if Michigan State will eventually get, I think, back to some sort of elite competition. But particularly when you're talking about Michigan, Ohio State, you're looking at a scenario now where they could possibly meet 3 times in 1 year.
Right.
Because remember, there is no more East versus West division in the Big Ten. So now it's just the 2 best teams are going to meet in the Big Ten Conference Championship. So that means if Ohio State and Michigan are the 2 best teams, they're going to play at the end of the year. And then they're going to play again 7 days later in the Big Ten Championship. And then those 2 teams could possibly meet somewhere along in that 12-team playoff. So
it's watered down.
they've watered down everything about the sport that in the pursuit of finance.
They've taken it, they've watered it down in every league.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball, football, baseball, watered down. They got the extra
Just
wild
all
card.
about the dollar.
All about the dollar, man.
And you don't, as if y'all don't make enough. I'm just saying this is what, and I don't want to get off into a political, but this is what bothers me about the greed of capitalism. When is enough enough? You know what I'm saying?
It's not enough. Even if I have it all, it's still
That's
not
what I'm
enough.
saying. Y'all all making more money than you'll ever be able to spend. When is enough enough?
The traditional, you know, the culture like of Thanksgiving Day, where you spend it with your family and everybody be sitting around tired after eating turkey. You watch the games, and then you're like, all right, who going shopping tomorrow? And they get up and they go Black Friday shopping or whatever. That's all lost because they don't even close. They don't even close the stores on Thanksgiving anymore.
No, they don't.
Like, everything's open. You go out. I mean, it's just like no one cares about any of the, the family time or spending that. Like it just does. It's all so watered down. Like I'm having a difficult time, honestly, getting motivated about holidays anymore. I just feel like, man, it's just you go from one year to the next, and there's a holiday every 30 days. It's just a way to keep you spending.
There's something every day now, right? Burger Day, Pancake Day, John, my little brother Day, Ronald, my blood brother Day.
Yeah. It's a fact.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. That's one of the things. Whereas years ago I had a problem with it, but now I come to I appreciate it. I appreciate being born in the month of August because August is the only calendar month on the
with no holiday,
with no major holiday, not one. You got what? New Year's, January, February, Valentine's Day, March, St. Patrick's Day, April, Easter, May, Mother's Day, June, Father's Day, July, 4th of July, nothing in August. September, Labor Day, October, Halloween, November, Thanksgiving, December, Christmas.
Yeah, true.
Good job, August. Whoever did, leave it like that. Don't commercialize my month.
Right. Only kind of holiday. It all depends on if week 0 falls under the last week of August.
Yeah.
College football week. That's it.
Listen, that's the greatest holiday ever.
There you go.
Brother, you can't get a better holiday for me than the start of college football. And it goes so fast. Oh my God, we almost at the end of the season. Oh.
So I'm like, man, come on.
Jesus Christ, man.
And really, years ago, today would be the end.
Yeah.
Because they didn't play Thanksgiving weekend. This was it right here. Because remember, literally, you had to wait almost 2 months.
For the bowl game.
January 1st for the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hate that. Be like,
you'd be wondering how your team was gonna look.
All your momentum is gone.
Yeah.
Right? Went home for Christmas. I never remember being on campus after Thanksgiving, right? Especially Michigan State, because we were on trimesters, right? So a lot of people, this was it for their semester, this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we go home for Thanksgiving. We come back. A lot of other schools have like a week left. We didn't get out until, after my birthday, which is December 6th. Mm-hmm. Right. We got out, and we got out for a month, but man, it just seemed like so long. The campus was so cool, and not everybody went home for Thanksgiving. You could stay on campus if you wanted to. I just had the blessings of being able to go to Detroit, with my family. 1 year I went home with a friend of mine to their Thanksgiving. But when you come back, that was it. And for Michigan State, at that time we had a good football team, but football was over, man. You had to wait till January for the bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Or late December, depending on what bowl you went to. But now, like I said, now you got the CFE, this college football ratings. You got the championship games, that first weekend of December, all the point of keeping it in your face, right? And then here's the thing:
I'm depressed.
All year, all season, they keep it in your face. But then when it's championship time, there's 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks before you get to it. And that's just crazy.
I don't know, man.
Days of
Right. I mean, look, like I said, there was nothing better than them old days. I'm sorry.
They figured it out, man. They figured out ways to maximize the dollar, and we've all bought in. And whether it's holidays, football scheduling, basketball, whatever it is, it's all in the name.
Yeah, I don't know if we've all bought. We don't have a choice. It's like cattle. You just herd them into, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, this is how it's gonna be, or you just, what if you were against conference realignment? Nothing you can really do about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just either this is the way it's going, so get on board or get left behind.
Well, the thing is, and we, because we're in that middle ground group, but what you're seeing is gone now is those old men and old people that stood ground. No, this is where we're standing. This is our tradition. Right. We're not changing. Now we're into people who are, okay, it's not so bad. We can do this. And then when you do it, you say, you know what? I kind of like the old way. But once you open the door, you can't close it.
Yeah. It's funny because you say that, Herm, because I've been feeling that a lot in the last few years. Once I turned 50, and then I start seeing younger people in the office, or you start feeling like, dang, when did I become the old guy in the office? and I'm serious. And you start seeing like trend changes and things happen.
Yeah, attitude.
And then you'd be like, yo, there's really nothing you could do about it, because ultimately you're going to fade out into the sunset anyway. So then you start wondering, okay, how much do I fight the monster to try to keep things the way they were, or do you kind of just like find yourself a nice comfortable spot, and then you'd be like, okay, let me just keep going and not rankle it too much, make sure my retirement is funded enough so I can just bounce when the time comes, versus fighting this thing that's going to continue to evolve and change anyway. You know what I mean? So
well, and as you said, I take that to heart, because I just think back on like guys like Bishop and them, in the church, who I really wonder now how they really felt, because they saw exactly what we're saying.
They saw this day.
They saw this day, right? And so, I'm sitting here thinking, how much worse can it get from where we are right now?
Yeah,
I mean, even with the the name and likeness, finally, you can get paid from having your name on the back of a shirt in the bookstore, whereas before you got nothing, right? But like you say, where does it go from there? The comfort zone, right? Because who's gonna finally step up and say, it's not right. I do just as much as Shador. I do just as much as so and so. I want my equal share. Who's gonna fight for them?
Yeah, I think it's American capitalism at its best or worse, depending on who you ask.
Depending on your perspective,
and it's the nature of capitalism. And what people don't understand is that capitalism isn't your friend unless you are a seller, not a consumer. And when you are just consuming it, you're at the mercy of those who produce. And just like Michigan, for example, Detroit, they made cars. They were in a very powerful position in Michigan, right? That was the core. And then when you saw what happened when that took a turn, and the corporation had no moral obligation, at least they had a moral obligation, but they had nothing else to hold them there, right? They just said, hey, well, we're gonna go make the cars where we can get cheaper labor. And damn everybody else, what happens to the people? And you saw what the result of that is. And that's what capitalism does. It's all about how I can manufacture to produce it with the least amount of output to gain the most money on the back end. And if college football needs to give these kids money and let them get paid on their name, image, and likeness, okay, great. We've been making money on them doing that, no problem. We're just going to extend the season now and keep it and make that money up. Make that money up by having extra games. I mean, they know what they're doing. They're not dumb. They have the most advanced analytics, insights, and data. Right? They know it's all done now. How to maximize the earning potential for sports, retail, all of it. It's all done on what they call quantum computing these days. So it's just the nature of it. I think going back to your question about the old time folks, whether they're in the church or in politics or whatever, I just think that the nature of man is that people pass on, and when it gets to a point where they're just not in, their time is up. And unfortunately, that's what happens, and people pass on, and then you either retain some of those lessons that you learned in order to keep your sanity, or you just fall victim to all of the stuff that's happening in the world or in the sports world or whatever. And that's where you have to lean on the things you learned, lean on what you believe, and you stick to it in order to maintain it. I tell Trish all the time, I say, we have to protect our little corner of the world. I can't change what's going on down the street or the man next door to me, but I can control as much as I can what happens in my little corner. And I got to try to protect it too. Like, I'm like, swing it, out of here, get off my lawn, like John said. But you have to have that mentality. Otherwise, everything creeps in. It's like having a nice, beautiful lawn and you never take care of it. Eventually, you'll have a forest there someday. You just let it grow crazy. And the only way you can do it is protect what's there. I'm at a point now where I give up trying to fight with the NFL owners or the NCAA and the things that they do, because they're going to do what's best for them at the end of the day. Right.
Well, and the thing, as you just so beautifully said, they're fighting to keep what's theirs as well.
Yes.
They just happen to be the ones with the money, but it's a fight for them because they don't want to take down at all either.
For the NCAA, in a lot of ways, it's almost like the jig is up. People finally got hip to a point where they were able to get name, image, and likeness. Which, think about it, it's really a small victory for the players, because you got to think about how many years of capitalizing on these kids that the NCAA has done. It's wealth untold that they've earned off of the backs of college students and college athletics. And there's ways that they make money that we don't even know about, that aren't disclosed to the public. That name, image, and likeness is just a small drop in the bucket, in the ocean of what the other money that they've made. So I don't feel bad at all that they're earning it.
When I found out about the NFL being a tax exempt organization.
Well, I think with NIL, to me, the good thing about it is that it ended the pretense that these are amateur athletes. Billion-dollar contracts were being signed.
Yes.
Chris Webber walking into a Foot Locker, seeing his jersey being sold, and he reached in his pocket and could barely buy lunch. You know what I'm saying? It was a huge inequity, but now it's like the line is being blurred between college and, I mean, think about it. College football is going to look like the NFL. The Big Ten and the SEC is going to look like the NFC and the AFC. You know what I'm saying? Two major conferences basically is what you're going to have. And I mean, you got and transfer portal is like free agency. You know what I'm saying?
Look at how well
it's a minor league shuttle system, right?
Look at how well the teams in the Pac-12 that are going to be bouncing over to the Big Ten have played this year. Mm-hmm. Right? They have elevated their game. The teams coming in like the Oregons and they are playing outstanding football. Now they're going to get that East Coast, Midwest to East Coast audience now. Bro, it's all about the money.
Yep. Because that's going to open up recruiting pipelines to these places that they didn't have exposure to before. It's a well planned out, well orchestrated plan. I get why they're doing it, but at the same time, man,
The purists don't like it.
The purist in me is just, I'm
I have a question
man.
too. How much payout do the president of the now defunct Pac-10, how much money he getting for them losing their conference?
The Pac-12. I don't know. He gonna have to rebuild it with some of those mid-major type teams out there, the San Diego States of the world, and those kind of guys, the Boise States. You know, I don't know if they ever get to shine back unless they can somehow tap into the recruiting and put a better product on the field.
But just think about that. Just think about it. The Pac-10 or Pac-12, it'll be no more. It's gone. It's gone. Something that we have watched and grew up with forever, all our lives.
Right.
With the stroke of the pen and it's done.
You know what it's about? The money. The money. It didn't matter.
And think about it. Today, years ago, today would be huge, right? Because you had all your rivalry games today.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's USC against UCLA today, right? So it's like, so what?
Yep, nobody cares.
You know, like nobody cares.
Whoop-de-doo.
Years ago, this game mattered against who's gonna play Michigan, Ohio State.
Yep, in the Rose Bowl.
Right. Is UCLA or USC against Michigan, Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, January 1st.
Yeah. It's changed. Some of the stuff that was traditional, that made sense, that was fun, doesn't matter because it don't make money.
You're right.
So what? You know what I mean?
If it don't make dollars, to them it don't make sense.
Do you think they really cared about the fact that Colorado was playing Colorado State that one weekend where they had the record-breaking numbers for a ESPN late-night game? The only reason it was on was because people was watching the hype of it all. They didn't care nothing about that, right? Last night, Colorado played Washington State 10:30 at night on Fox 1.
On a Friday.
A Friday night. I'm sure people were still watching because it's Deion, but like, so what? But who cared, right? No one really cares about the game, but it's all about the eyeballs and the sponsors that are buying time to do it. I turned the game on. It was like 48-12. I was like,
oh, it was 42-7 when I turned it on.
I said, man, come on now. I'd rather watch a high school game than this blowout, but I mean, listen, here's the thing we need to talk about. Dan Campbell told him he ain't leaving the Lions to go coach at Texas A&M. But if I was Texas A&M, you have to ask the question. Hey,
you have to at least ask the question.
Would you be willing to come to Texas A&M and be the coach?
That's a better job than Colorado.
You at least got to ask the guy, because at the end of the day, whether or not if people bought into what was going on in Colorado or not, let's think about this for a minute. Deion has brought more attention to that one little corner of the world that nobody cared about. He has made them amount of money over there in Boulder, Colorado. He has got national attention on there, brought College Game Day, even though they fell short. We all knew they didn't have the talent to really compete beyond those first few games that they had. And he'll tell you that himself, right? But the attention that he garnered for that tells you that at the end of the day, if you bring him in as your coach, you're gonna get the attention, right? Not that Texas A&M needs the money, because they got bucket loads of it. They got that oil money in Texas.
What do they buy? What is Jimbo Fisher's? What's his buyout? Like
$75 million buyout.
$76 million.
I would have been like,
can you say, Ronald, John, I'm sending you home, but I'm giving you $76 million.
You must really
fire me.
Don't come back, but here, take $76 million with you.
You must really want somebody to go away to pay them $76 million to go away.
Yes.
You must really not like that person.
And John, you know what? They could fire me too. I'd be like, fire
me.
Please, me. I've been trying to get fired from day one.
Man, what you talking about?
Because I'm the head coach didn't show up for the game. He wasn't at the game? No. Fire me, please.
But it's because a lot of people are thinking, well, James Franklin just signed that new contract, so they ain't gonna get rid of him. And I'm like, did you see what just happened in Texas?
Listen, just don't give them calls, right? Don't give them calls.
Bro, I'm telling you, them billionaire dudes in Texas with all that oil money down there, man. Yo, they don't.
Oh,
care.
that man, listen.
All they want to do is win. They don't care. They don't. $75 million is like
that's a tax write-off.
Again, just don't get nobody on your bad sides where they say we're not giving you the money either, because they'll come up with something.
You know, the crazy part about it was I was talking to this vice president for my company the other day, and he told me, he goes, Ron, you realize that $75 million is already funded too. Like they already have the money to pay him. They're just like, hey man, go ahead, take it and go. That tells you right there. There's levels to this. Okay.
Yeah.
Now whether they would give Deion the keys to Texas A&M, I don't know. But if they really want him, it's all about the money, bro. It's all about he would have to seriously consider that if they offered him the job, because number one, they got the great facilities there. They already got players. They already got top level guys. Like now, his kids might have trouble transferring, but that's all. You know what that's all about. That's all about money. That's the Texas A&M alum or their booster club saying, hey, NCAA, here's a little money under the table. Please approve Shador and them so they can play football here just to get the hype. There wouldn't be no way in the world that Deion could go to Texas A&M and not his kids not be able to go with him because it makes too much money not to.
He's in Colorado for one more year.
Yeah,
at least.
I hope so. I hope he stays just as a purist in me, because I love what they were doing there, man. And I hope we can get the players to be more competitive. But if anything else, Deion has changed the conversation in terms of, I think he's opened the eyes of a lot of people to how this thing really works, man. It's all about the eyeballs and the money.
Yeah, but it would behoove him to stay in Colorado because you don't want to be seen as a flight risk.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they will. You think you're gonna stay in?
They're gonna use. They already trying to use that.
They will recruit against him.
They were asking him about that the other day about what do you tell a parent? What would you tell? I mean, come on. This what the guy. That's part of the reason why the transfer portal is so powerful, right? Because coaches would always leave, but the players were stuck. And then John, even if they did leave, they had to wait a year to play.
I think it goes back to your point too, John, that you asked earlier, where you said, when is enough? Like, when do you have enough money? I mean, Deion's got a very nice contract in Colorado. He's got the keys to the kingdom. The people out there love him.
And turn that program around. You've already exceeded what you did last year. Yeah. I understand that winning early creates heightened expectations that they didn't ultimately meet. But still, you got the program moving in the right direction. Stick it out, make something of that program, and then move on. Like you did at Jackson State. Jackson State. I mean, he had to pull a lot of. They lost the championship game, but he got them there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so he left the program better than when he took it. And correct. I have no problem with him leaving and going, but I'm just saying to leave now, it would. Any player he recruits, the opposing coaches would be like, now he might only be here.
But you know what? And again, it's sad because we're saying this about Deion, right? But that applies to Nick Saban.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, look, Saban left Michigan State.
He left LSU.
Goes to LSU, leaves there to go to Miami pros.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think the difference, and I'm gonna say this we after 12, y'all. My game about to watch. I'm about to watch my game. Mm-hmm. But the difference with Nick Saban, I mean, with the exception of Michigan State, which it's hard when Michigan State would be a very good program in another conference. Yeah. But you're competing for athletes, and I think this is what he recognized in being at Michigan State. You're competing against the three of the biggest brand names of college football. It's Michigan, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. They're all in the same area with you.
Right.
So I think he looked at this and said, there's only so much that I can do here. Whereas just in the state of Louisiana,
and even at that time, you still had Penn State. They still had
but I'm saying when he went to LSU, he went to LSU, and it's like he can fill a roster just from the kids
from Louisiana.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then too, he had the hardware. So I mean, you leave LSU, at least you didn't leave. You left. He won a championship there. So
LSU.
go on. If you win a championship, bro, it's like LeBron in Cleveland. You ended a 50-year championship drought in this city. You want to go to LA? Go ahead. You know, there was no vitriol like it was when he went to Miami.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He delivered. So once you deliver, you good.
Louisiana is located between Mississippi and Texas too, by the way. And Baton Rouge sits right on the border. So he had Texas, Louisiana, and he had all them other southern states, man. The Panhandle of Florida, where Emmitt Smith and them were from.
Right. No, it's true.
It's true. Mean, bro, it's talent rich. Woo!
It's true. So I mean, even most of the greats that Michigan State is associated with came from Florida or Ohio, mainly, right? Lorenzo from Florida, Bobby McAllister, who was the quarterback in their big run, he was from Florida, right? Versus Snows out of Massillon, out of Cincinnati, Ohio. So again, like you said, those general areas, if you can get, 2 or 3 of those 4 to 5A talents, but everybody's going after them, right? And so it's, and like I say, the talent is there. It's just the mechanism, how you work and how you get them, and keeping them now is the big thing, though, right? Keeping them there, because I'm not going to wait 2 years to stay here and play for Michigan, and if I can go next year and play for Colorado, I'm out.
When I moved south 12, 13 years ago, and John, we'll let you get going soon. The thing I noticed, and I told y'all before, was I just could not believe the number of athletes that were in my kids' school and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my kids were all athletes, and I was walking around. I was like, "Yo, who's that dude, man?" Right? And they'd be like, "Oh, he don't even play ball." I'm like, "What do you mean he don't play ball? The boy's 6'5". Like, what? They're like, "Nah, he don't even play." And I'm like, "What?" Well,
and that's one thing I should always tell the kids from around here. Even my son was athletic. He could play every sport, but I should tell him, I go, you're just one piece of a puzzle.
Yeah.
I go, you know how many people that are better than you are, as good as you are? There's people better than you.
Yo, the city of Atlanta,
while you sitting up here sleeping, they're working.
The city of Atlanta already gave Anthony Edwards, the basketball player, they gave him a statue already. The boy only 20.
Yeah, watching the surf. And then so again, when the kid don't have the right attitude, here's so-called the GOAT, right? LeBron James, who shows up for a game 3 to 4 hours early.
Yeah.
Because he understands you got to put the work in, right? They showed them we got to go, but they showed them Tuesday when they had their, the end season game. First time they had it at home, and they had the new court.
Right? Yeah, I like the court. The court looked good.
LeBron shows up, and he's walking the court. He's just walking the court, finding the weak spots, finding the dead spots, right? Right. So he knows where the ball's gonna come up on the court, or if I give a defender in this corner,
that's
the
a true
ball's not
professional.
Gonna respond, right? Because he's putting in the work. But they say this, and we gotta go. They said LeBron wasn't really like that until they went to the Olympics with Kobe, and they saw how Kobe was so mentally into basketball, not just outside of his talent. And so he said that like changed his whole mindset. Like, yo, this dude is really crazy about it. He's putting in the work.
Right.
Insane work ethic. Insane.
Yeah. And they tell the story about their first play when they played Spain. And they ran through Powell. They're gonna run that. They're gonna run that post play with Powell. I'm gonna go through his chest. And they was like, you ain't gonna do that to your boy. He did. Yeah, and he did. They was like, oh, this guy. That's when they said
that was his Laker teammate.
They said that's when they knew he was crazy.
That's his Laker teammate.
Yeah. All right, well, fellas, again, it's enjoyable chatting with you here on Sports Chat. Facebook, we love you. Lord say the same. We'll see you next Saturday. Enjoy your
Big
Thanksgiving.
day next
Eat
week,
up.
y'all.
Enjoy
Rivalry
everything.
week.
Big day. John will be so nervous next Saturday. We're going to rub it in on him too, Ron. We're going to work this up. I might even wear an Ohio State shirt next Saturday just to get him fired up. Oh, my gosh. Let's go. You know, because I got some cousins who I don't hear from them until they beat Michigan State. I don't hear from them for years, but they'll text me and everything when it comes to that. So maybe I'll rub it in with Little Red next week. Who knows? All right.
Hey, Sports Central is open, as you can see. It's my birthday, so I have all the excuses in the world.
Happy birthday, Ron. Enjoy your day. All right. Enjoy your day. Dwayne, if you're out there, happy birthday to you, bro.
All right, you too.
All right, John.
Good luck today, John. Good luck today.
The game might be over already. Is it 21-0 already? Hold on. Let's see.
I don't know.
All right. We'll
All
talk
right,
to you.
fellas.
We out.
All right,
Love you.
y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Facebook. Peace out. We love you. God bless.